the nipples strike again. Puffing and glubbering, they drug themselves rampling or dancing with wild abdomen, stabbing in wild costumes amongst themselves. There is a lot to do in Liverpool. He went cold all over, then lifting her face upwards, she said with a voice full of emulsion, "Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! You know I need someone. Help!" When I was younger, so much younger than today, when I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. I never needed anybody's help in any way. I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone. These days are gone. I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the door and opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate your being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Help, won't you please help me? Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate your being wrong. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Please help, please help me. When I was younger, so much younger than today, when I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. I never needed anybody's help in any way. I never needed anybody's help in any way.
There we go, folks. That was Mr. Bryony's The Helpin' Tenor with the Baroque Beatles book, conducted by Joshua Rifkin. Recorded back in the 70s. His cantata, Last Stand I Said, cantata for the third Sunday after Shea Stadium, MBE 58,000 it says here. And it's the Baroque Beatles. So there we go.
Great stuff.
Oh, it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yay.
Good afternoon.
And hello to you there, Frank. How's it going?
Not bad, thank you. And you?
Oh, yeah. Look, we'll make it a short one today because we've got a bit of illness in the family and I really should be doing other things. So, we'll just go for a bit. And Kate's come back and she's not that well at all.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, a bit unfortunate, but look, she'll be all right, I think. She's going to take tomorrow off and just rest a bit, but, there's a lot to do. Yes.
There would be, yeah.
So I feel a bit guilty being out here. Yeah, anyhow, so, we had a big bash yesterday, I have to say.
I know. I'm sorry to leave it when I did.
No, that's all right. It was fine, and you probably had a really good night yourself, a family night.
We did. Bit of an impromptu family get-together.
That's tremendous. Yeah, good thing. Yeah. So, we were sort of covered quite a bit of ground yesterday. We had EO with us. Haven't had EO on for ages.
No.
So it was really good to sort of
all
be there in the booth and have a last face-to-face mission. So, yeah. Anyhow, just a quick word, folks, that this is a test transmission on 160 metres and also on UHF, and also we do stream online. There's a blog page devoted to the cause. It's vk3sl.blogspot.com with all the go-to information and, a YouTube stream.
vk3jr is on 145.04 megahertz.
Indeed, that's right.
And with feedback and on FM.
That's absolutely correct. Yes, with a bit of extra feedies in the mix. Yeah, so
you heard from our Bendigo correspondent?
Not lately. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and we'll hopefully try and get out there at some point in the next month or so. If we can find a sample of time, that's the problem. But but look, I think everything's sort of. We caught up at the Hamfest in Ballarat, which was good. I had some correspondence with Mr. Andrew the other day.
Good.
And I think he's moving along. He said he's got a 160 metre antenna up. So he's just hoping to tune it and get it going. I don't think it's terribly high, but he's got a plan there.
Yeah, well, that's great. So missions are on the way, perhaps.
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be great if he can get involved because, he's got a lot to offer as well.
Oh, yeah.
As other luminaries on 160. All right, well, what we'll do is play our 20th hit. I just had a look on the shelf and there's a track with the Colonial Club Orchestra. Now, they were a Brunswick A&R group, I think, just sort of a house group run by a guy called Bob Herring, who sort of was just one of the many dance band leaders, but it was the Brunswick house group. I think earlier days it was under Gus Henson, it was Carl Fenton's orchestra, and then it became the Colonial Club Orchestra under Bob Herring. This record goes back to 1926. It's a classic light beam record, and it's just distorted to hell. And I think the vocalist on this is a guy called Frank Munn. So we'll cut back to the chase, and it has got some sort of decent syncopated solos on this record. I'd love to know who the artists are, but I was doing a little research before, but without success. So we'll keep this one in our midst. Let's have a listen.
it was my pal Jerry, my pal Jerry. You know what sunshine means after the rain, but you'll never know just what it means to find a pal again like my pal Jerry. He'll be my best man the day I marry. Gee, but fate was mighty kind to me to send back my pal Jerry.
Classic Light Beam Fair from 1926, the Colonial Club Orchestra. And I'd like to know who the trumpet solo is. Doesn't really break loose, but he's trying. He's trying. He's having a go. You can tell he's sort of...
Can't do more than that.
That's it. Yeah, so anyhow, there's our 20s hit. In fact, I might play another 20s record. I heard this one in the car today when I was ferrying people around and an early morning ferry missions, and this one popped up on my playlist, and it's really good. It's a recording of Joe Venuti and his New Yorkers. This is a group that Venuti and Eddie Lang worked with for a sort of a session group, really, for a very short period before they joined.
20s, what is it?
Yes, 1928, just before they joined the Paul Whiteman Orchestra. And
I don't think there was a better violinist.
He's
jazz violinist.
Oh, I think he's amazing. Yeah,
you got Grappelli and all that sort of thing, but I think he was, apart from being earlier, I think he was probably more inventive.
I think so. I find his solos more invigorating than Grappelli's, but Grappelli was a great artist too.
Of course he was.
Yeah, but I acknowledge that. I think that there is something rather special about Joe Venuti, and he was the first violinist, really. I don't think there's many people doing that sort of really adventurous harmonically and technically. I mean, he came from a classical background, and he just used those skills, all those 10,000 hours of scales, came to work to his advantage. Yeah, but this particular record, I think I've got the right one here. It's a track which features Charlie Butterfield on the trombone. I don't know much about Butterfield, and I was trying to find out a bit more because it's got a great trombone solo on this disc. And I just thought, wow, this really stands out. Now, I'm hoping I've got the right record because I listened to a few of them this morning, but we'll give it a whirl, see what happens. It goes back to June 1928, and it features Joe Venuti and his New Yorkers. It's a great track. There we have it. It was Because My Baby Don't Mean Maybe Now, Joe Venuti and his New Yorkers, featuring solos by Charlie Butterfield, notably on the trombone at the start. I thought it was a great trombone solo.
What a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just terrific. I just wish he recorded more. There's a few references to him over the in later years, but he was mainly a session player. But good solo there. And also Leo McConville played the trumpet right out there, and that was particularly worthwhile as well. And Mr. Venuti himself had a couple of breaks. And I noticed, looking at the list here, Don Murray was on it. He's a clarinetist who played with Whiteman and also did a lot of session work with Bix, and he was a phenomenally gifted clarinetist, just extraordinary. He's really as great as Goodman and others at that time, and he only made a few records, and he fell off the running board of his car, hit his head on the curb and died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, about 1928, 29, not long after this. And so he was only in his early 20s, so he just never was able to develop. So pretty tragic story there with Don Murray, but I notice he is on that record. Now, interestingly, there is a recording made just 10 days later with Paul Whiteman's band, featuring many of the same musicians, different arrangement, but this one features Bix and Bing as well. And you'll hear the big full Whiteman sound during that golden period. And yeah, it's worth playing these back to back, I think, because many of the same players only 10 days later. So let's have a listen to Paul Whiteman and his band and Because My Baby Don't Mean Maybe Now.
When the preacher questions me, I'll say yes sir, yes sirree, because my baby don't mean maybe now. I just got a little letter just yesterday, and now I feel a little better, and so I say, life is short and mighty sweet, but I know mine is quite complete, because my baby don't mean maybe now.
Young Bing Crosby there with Paul Whiteman and the band. In fact, Crosby was with the Rhythm Boys, who gave him a very supportive accompaniment, I thought, on that. And included some tremendous solos, breaks by Mr. Beiderbecke as well on the cornet there. And classic Paul Whiteman fare from the 1928 period when his band was one of the best. And it's profiling a couple of tracks with Joe Venuti. In fact, we'll play another one with Joe Venuti, and from that earlier session. And this track was also recorded by Whiteman just a few days later. So we can hear this in its first incarnation. And what is it? It's Tain't So, Honey Tain't So.
What your problem may be, just look up, brother, and I'm sure you will see. Tain't so, honey, tain't so. The devil said yes, but the Lord said no. Tain't so, honey, tain't so.
Joe Venuti and his band from 1928, and Tain't So. Rather average vocal chorus there, but there was plenty of other interest in that track, I thought. Yeah, mid or late 20s fare. And a few days later, the same musicians, or many of the same musicians, recorded the same track with Whiteman in New York, and again for Columbia. In fact, the track we just heard before was, I think, recorded for Okaya, which was the budget label for Columbia, but Paul Whiteman had his own face label, a special dedicated label just for the band. He had the Prestige format. So, he certainly got the Guernsey. But look, we'll hear another early Crosby track, this one with Bix as well, and recorded just a few days later. Take 2 of Tain't So. I'm vk3sl.
Come to Arkansas, meet a friend of mine, old Aunt Phoebe Law. She's known to everyone for miles around. He will help you when friends forsake you and troubles bear you down. For those who come her way are blessed when they hear her say, "'Tain't so, honey, 'tain't so." Spoke to the Lord and the Lord said, "No, 'tain't so, honey, 'tain't so." 'Tain't so, honey, 'tain't so. Tomorrow will bring something good, I know 'tain't so. I mean it just ain't so. Makes no difference what your problem may be. Just look up, brother, and I'm sure you will see. 'Tain't so, honey, 'tain't so. The devil said yes, but the Lord said no. 'Tain't so, honey, 'tain't so.
Well, there we have it. That was a recording featuring Bix and Bing and the Whiteman Band. Fabulous big solo there, all that cross rhythm stuff. It's all foreshadows another generation of music, really. It's way ahead of its time.
I wonder how much he thinks about them before he does them.
I don't think he would have thought about them at all. I think he was mainly thinking about where he's going to get his next fix of gin.
Yeah, I suppose so.
There's stories of the score having Wake Up Bix written on the score, and in fact I think there's one of the Whiteman charts exists and someone's written in big letters Wake Up Bix on the music. Yeah, I think he was a bit of a rogue element, but yeah, poor fellow. But that's one of the great big solos actually on that disc. Now, there's another interesting story about that particular record in one of the, I think it's in the Bix discography or in the biography of Mr. Butterbeck. There is a discussion of this session. Apparently they had to do multiple takes. And because, as you heard at the very beginning, Crosby has to come in without any pitch reference.
Yeah.
And we'll just play that tiny bit. You can hear what happens here. And
hey, people, you should come to Arkansas.
So he just has to come in on his own and be exactly in tune.
Yeah.
Now, I think Crosby had a fantastic sense of relative pitch, but he didn't have perfect pitch.
No, well, that's right.
So you'd have to... They must have given him a pitch reference first.
Somebody's played something to him.
Yeah, they'd have to play it to him, but each time he got it slightly out, and I think they did something like 20 takes of that record.
Oh, really?
Before they were able to nail it. So that's a bit of an anecdote about that particular record. It was apparently very hard to record for that reason. It's unusual to have a vocalist who starts a song. It's almost unheard of, particularly.
They'd have to start the recorder a bit before.
They'd have to have probably 10 seconds. So you'd have to memorise the note exactly.
Or that length, at least that length.
Exactly. And the thing is that you might memorise it, but you might be just a tad sharp or a tad flat.
Exactly.
And then you can't hook it. You've got to be right there because the saxes come in at the same time right on. So it's just a quirk of the arrangement. But
you needed earphones, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. You need some sort of... Yeah, they didn't have that luxury back then. So yeah, that's an interesting little story about that record. Anyhow, had our Bix fix for the
I love it.
yeah, people are thinking they're all collectively rolling their eyes, saying, "Here he goes again, another roll." But yeah, you know, you just got to go where the passion is. Yeah, just reached onto the shelf and picked out a handful of Japanese records. We haven't played these for a while. We have played them in the past, but I have no idea what they are. They're Japanese Victors, and they are all in Japanese, so it's one big guess. We can just pick one out and put it on and find out what's on it. These are recorded in the 30s, and yeah, we had a real I remember a couple of years ago, we were playing these ad nauseum, and there's about 20 of them here, and I really don't know what they are. They're pretty rough and ready. The laminate, sort of paper laminate, sort of sticking out the edges, and they're sort of made a bit expediently. But yeah, there's nothing on it except Victor, and all the rest of it is in Japanese. Now, this record has got an A-side, and no, both A-sides, it seems. So we'll just throw it on, see what happens. Bit of a guess, but you never know. Oh, it's a bit warped. I think we're okay. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, I don't know about you, Frank, but I find that utterly beguiling, that record.
It's sort of quite doesn't get anywhere near what it is. It's just I don't know.
It's otherworldly, isn't it?
It's just It takes you in with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. I just love it. I love the ambience. I love that sort of...
Perfect pentatonic.
yeah, it is. And it's just got that delightful mix of folk inflection and also the dance band element, the American influence as well. Oh,
It's more than charming.
It's special. It's really special. I might see if I can wrestle it off. Since I got it here, I might as well try the other side, see what's on it, see what it's about.
That was the exact pentatonic, no fourth and no seventh.
Exactly, it was. It was pentatonic through and through. Yeah, I'm introducing pentatonics to some of my students at the moment, and it's a topic of late.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a wonderful way to give kids a vehicle to improvise, because you can play those notes, and they always
in any order. It sounds good,
and it sounds good. Yeah, and
that's exactly right.
yeah, so it's a fantastic way to sort of cut loose. Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah, it's fun. And for a pianist, of course, you get to play the black notes.
So you do, yeah.
Yeah. So,
unless you play it in C.
Yeah, well, that's right. Then it's different. But for someone who's just sort of getting the feel of it, it just gives you an easy reference playing the black notes on the piano.
Sure it does.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll play the other side, I think. We've got to hear more of this sort of music. And I'll have to get back onto those websites. And I remember we were really into it a few years ago. We were just listening to this ad nauseum.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're really good. And we found, I think they're still on my sort of favourites list on YT. I've got about 200 sites that I subscribe to.
Oh,
and
right.
and the number of them are Japanese records, but I haven't sampled them for a while. So maybe it's something we can come back to. But for the moment, we'll hear side B of the disc we just heard, an old Victor. They're pretty rough, these records. And all the surface is all crazed, but it's still okay. So I think I put side B on. I think I turned it over. Let's find out. Needs a nudge. And we cannot back announce that record because I have no idea as to who the artists are. But what an unusual track. It even had a few castanets and a bit of Spanish influence there. How about that for
Unusual.
Yeah, very strange. It's fascinating stuff. Yeah.
In the normal Japanese minor key.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. And very modal. And,
Very modal.
yeah, and sort of that melismatic, folksy dimension to it as well, and that nasal quality,
Yep.
which goes with their folk tradition. So it's sort of an interesting mix, isn't it? I find these just really transport me, these records, and we don't play them enough. I'm going to play another one. I just reached over to the shelf and pulled
No,
another
they're
one
great.
out.
Well, you're on a roll, Steve.
I'll play a couple. I'll play this one as well. And again, I can't announce it. I have no idea about this. I mean, I remember when we played them earlier, I got Henry to translate, but he's not around at the moment. So we'll try this. I just don't know what's happening. It's a complete unknown. It's a lucky dip, but they are always good. Something will happen. vk3sl. Well, there we go. Another Japanese recording from...
It sounded very much like the very first one you played.
Yes, it almost sounds the same. Maybe it is the same. It's very, very similar anyhow.
Very similar indeed.
Yeah, sort of same harmonic structure.
Yeah, it was a different recording, wasn't
I think it is. I'll hold that side up. I see the problem is I can't tell.
it? Okay.
Oh, it might be the same.
I think it's the same thing.
It is. It is. There we go. It's the same record. I won't play the other side there. We'll leave it.
Proves that I'm definitely listening.
You are doing well. I sort of thought that sounded really familiar. I thought, oh, they all, oh well, there we go. Two of the same. Well, one
It's lovely
copy.
to hear it.
One copy's better than the other.
Sounded just as good the second time.
Yes. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? Now, I'm going to acknowledge Mr. Fleming, who's been tuning up a wireless. And yes, these are, of course, test transmissions, and they sort of have a place for those who are tuning up their sets. And he's been tuning up a little transistor radio, a silver transistor radio, apparently is the name's a Silver's
good.
brand.
Yes,
Silver's.
Silvers.
Yes, Silver's is a bit of...
LVA, I think.
Yeah, well, this one is a... Silvers is a part of the mission's folklore, of course, for other reasons.
Oh, of course, indeed.
So,
Silver and gold, yes.
yes, we'll give that an oblique nod. And so he's been tuning it up, and he sent me a little sound file. Sounds okay, sounds good. And great thing to do there.
Good evening, Mr.
So
Fleming.
we want to find a good set with a good ferrite that we can give to Jamie so that he can listen in, because that would be great if he could just listen in off a Zista radio. So maybe that in time we'll find something suitable.
Good day, Jamie, if you happen to be listening.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call.
I've got to catch up with Jamie. I know he's got a lot on his plate at the moment, but
has.
we'll
I'm having lunch with him and some other people in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, let's have to put a date in the diary and just make it happen and pop and have a face-to-face session. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. After yesterday's face-to-face, I just realised how enjoyable it is to actually be in the live.
And it's life to the whole thing, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's really great. So, anyhow, what have we got here? Oh, I've got a Fritz Chrysler, and I'm playing this for a particular reason, because it's sort of a segue reason, which I'll reveal in a moment. And and the segue scenario's got a connection with Jamie too. So we'll let this one play out. We've got Sean Roseman, Fair Rosemary with Fritz Chrysler. This is a beautiful record. He just played with such a sense of Viennese elegance. And I've played this many times, but I cannot help myself playing it again.
Great.
Only Chrysler can play like that. It's so charming and just so, he just has such a wonderful, just light-hearted, whimsical manner.
Yeah.
And I love the way the second refrain, he plays it with a harmonic at the end.
Yeah.
The second one, he's got that lovely harmonic ringing. It's just beautiful, those little fine touches. And that's just gorge. All right, well, there's going to be a segue. I found that to lead into another recording, a different Chrysler. It's Chrysler Makes History, this record is called. It's an old Australian record company, an ARC transcription disc, and this is one of the ones that Jamie passed my way, so it must have been one of his doubles. And it features Fred Hartley and his orchestra back in, I suppose, the early 50s. But he sort of samples the orchestra and you hear a few musicians play, and it's quite an interesting piece of Australian history. I presume it was made in Sydney. I don't think Fred Hartley was a Melbourne group. But anyhow, it's a nice little bit of, Australian nostalgia. So we'll just get this into gear and have a listen. It's pretty scratched up, unfortunately, but it's playable.
Magic in Music, a story told by Chrysler Radio featuring Fred Hartley and his world-famous players. This is the story of perfect musical reproduction. In presenting this demonstration, Chrysler is making history, bringing you a perfect recording that reveals all the transcendent beauty of natural color tone played on a Chrysler radiogram. In this recording, you'll be able to pick out each musical instrument, recorded faithfully in thrilling sound. So that you'll be able to judge for yourself, listen first to the instruments that make up the musical mosaic of the orchestra. For years, the piano was the bugbear of the reproducing engineers. Hear how Chrysler overcomes all technical difficulties as the magic fingers of Fred Hartley himself demonstrate for us. Because of its overtones, the violin is another difficult instrument to reproduce. Listen how Chrysler captures every brilliant detail of Phyllis MacDonald's playing. John Robertson with his trumpet shows how Chrysler reproduces the brilliance of brass instruments. And now for a real test for the Chrysler radiogram, one of the bass instruments. Clive Amario demonstrates the bass clarinet. Few people realize how much the string section of the orchestra owes to the warm tones of the cello. The cellist from Fred Hartley's orchestra, Lal Curing, allows us to hear Chrysler capturing for your enjoyment the haunting color of this instrument. The trombone, in the hands of a master, is one of the most beautiful of all musical instruments. Harry Larson gives Chrysler a chance to let you hear what it is capable of. These, then, are the ingredients of our story and sound. On the reverse side of this disc, we will demonstrate how a number of them combine in collective beauty as Fred Hartley leads his world-famous players. Its items enriched for your pleasure by the magic of Chrysler Radio.
What do you reckon, Frank? That's pretty exceptional, isn't it? An interesting document there.
Certainly was.
Yes.
Certainly was.
Yeah, great to hear those musicians. And Clive Amadio. Now, I think the Amadio family had John Amadio, of course, was a great flute player who played with Melba, and he was involved in Australian groups anyhow. I think it was John Lamone who played with Melba. But the Amadio family, I think, were very active, and there were several of them who played, including Clive, evidently, on the bass clarinet. Beautiful solo.
I think Clive Amadio had a regular show on the ABC.
Oh, really? How interesting.
I think so. This is where, Jamie, where are you?
Yes, that's right. We need to refer to our brains trust on this one.
I've got a feeling he certainly was regularly heard on the ABC.
Okay, sure. No,
Pretty sure he had a show.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Hosted the show.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, well, look, I might flip the disc and hear what they do together, see what the orchestra comes up with. It could be interesting. I don't think I've played this yet, so we'll just have to reach over on turntable number 2 here, and we'll hear Chrysler, what's it called? Chrysler Makes Magic or something. Makes History. Chrysler Makes History is the name of the disc, and an old ARC transcription record.
Chrysler Radio takes pleasure in presenting the master of the small orchestra, Fred Hartley, with his players, in his own special arrangement of the lovely melody, Jealousy. Chrysler takes this opportunity of thanking Fred Hartley and the glittering array of talent for this demonstration of super sound reproduction. May we also thank you for the privilege of demonstrating the Chrysler sealed radio gramophone combination, which we believe is the ultimate among electronic reproducing instruments. Chrysler brings you magic in music.
And there we have it. Fred Hartley back in the 1950s and his Salon Orchestra with an advertising feature for Chrysler.
Very much.
Very interesting. We'll have to play more of these sort of... I mean, there's a lot of that material that Jamie's very kindly passed on, so we can indulge in more of it. I'll just have to make it more accessible and bring it out, because it is always a fascinating sort of foray. Yeah, well, look, I'm going to have to wind because I'm going to need to go inside. But I will play a variety program because, speaking of Jamie, he did pass on a whole stack of transcription doubles from his collection of Life with Dexter episodes.
Right.
It's a whole stack of them. There's about 50. And so we'll... I reckon we'll have a Life with Dexter episode. I think it's they were syndicated through Macquarie's. I think they were made by Grace Gibson, and Willie Fennell he wrote all the scripts, and I think he was Dexter, wasn't he?
Certainly was.
Yeah, I mean they're very...
Ray Hartley in it.
That's right. Yes.
Various other, all good actors.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I think the only person still alive is the young girl. I can't remember her name, but she's in her...
Oh, Jamie, the girl used to be Jamie.
Yes, that's right. I think she's in her 80s or 90s now, but she's still around.
They had... there was one... Kevin Brennan used to be in all of them.
Right.
He was Wilmot.
Oh, Wilmot, yes. Anyhow, I think, there's a little bit of cringiness, but I think that they're exceptionally well done. They're really, really well. I just sort of love the production values and just the cohesive nature of it all. And to write comedy week in, week out for decades is not an easy thing to do. And I think it almost drove Willie Fennell insane, the whole thing. I've seen some interviews with him, but it happens to be one of my favourites of all of of that type of program.
Yeah, but mine too.
Yeah, I just like it, even if it is corny. So
doesn't matter. It's good.
So when Jamie mentioned that he had a whole stack of seconds, I said, yes, I gave him some. Yeah, I bought them from him, and they're a really nice thing to have here. So we'll play one now, episode 145.
Oh, there you go.
And these are not in the public domain, so it's all a bit exciting to be able to forward that. Yeah, Mr. Fennell kept a tight bond on things.
I think a lot of Grace Gibson's not in the public domain.
Yeah,
very, very little of it is actually.
That's right. So it's great to be able to experience this, and I think it's we'll go through the whole collection in time and play more of them. So what I'll do is say our cheerios, and look, we'll be back on Friday, but I'm going out next Friday night to see the Alpine Symphony with Melbourne Symph, and I just can't wait to hear the Strauss. It's just one of the great works, post-romantic works.
The Alpine horn?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's got a lot of...
fit one in, would they?
It's got about, I think it's got 12 horns in it.
Yeah.
Henry was involved when AYO did it earlier on. And he was in the offstage orchestra, because there's an orchestra offstage as well as an ensemble offstage.
Sure.
And it's just monolithic work. It's protean. It's just beyond any imagination. It's the quintessential high romantic piece. And when we were climbing up in doing one of our walks over summer, I was walking with a friend actually who's a lawyer. I should talk to you about him. And he is passionate about the music of Strauss, and we were both conducting it, and I played a bit of it on my phone. And we stood on the top of a mountain and pretended to conduct this together. So it was one of those funny moments. Especially the climax is unbelievable. So we might even play a little of it next time. But so we'll be back. I should be back by the late session on Friday, and I'll be all inspired, and we might hear a bit of Richard Strauss. And next weekend, I think we're around. Is next weekend the long weekend? Maybe no. I think it's the one after that. Yes. Yeah. So should be around next weekend. So should be.
Yeah, I think I will be.
Yeah. Okay. For missions. So that's the story, folks. No afternoon missions next Friday, but we'll follow on from there with our usual program. Alrighty. So let's have a Life with Dexter, Willie Fennell, and
vk3sl saying good evening to the listener, and thank you for listening.
And thank you, Frank, for your contributions. Always good.
Always good fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And we'll and have a good week in regards to Kathy and your family. And we'll
and to you, and I hope Kate's better.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thanks to listeners abound. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of the journey. It's a meander, and we just sort of play stuff and talk about it and just sort of wallow in nostalgia. That's sort of the way of things. And you can hear we're certainly enjoying ourselves. So thanks for sharing in the experience. So here we go. We've got a transcription record on, and what do? I've got to work out what buttons I have to push. I haven't played a transcription for a while. It's on the SP10, and I'm playing it through the noise processor. So I think we're right to go. Life with Dexter, and thanks, folks. See you soon.
The Commonwealth Savings Bank of Australia, the bank for all the family, takes pleasure in presenting the show for all the family, Life with Dexter.
If money can buy it, saving will get it. So bank Commonwealth now.
For a car or a bike or just a rainy day,
Be sure to save the friendly Commonwealth way.
so listen to this advice and
Start right today to bank Commonwealth. Save Commonwealth Bank Commonwealth now.
As you've probably all gathered by now, if there's one thing that aggravates Dexter Dutton more than another, it's Steve Gallagher scouting about his new car and being insulting about Dexter's car, dear old Hector. Actually, Dexter doesn't consider his car to be terribly old, especially since Hector was once declared to be 3 or 4 years too modern to enter the Relic Museum. Let's join Dexter, Ashley and Hector one Saturday morning in the driveway next to the house.
Gee, Dad, Hector looks even worse with a bonnet up than with it down.
Ashley, have you got nothing better to do than stand there making silly remarks about one of the finest cars in the country? And that's what Hector is, too.
Sure, Pop. Depends on how far out back you go into the country.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Got a clout on your carburetor.
Hey, look who's coming into our drive. Mr. Gallagher and his massive Fiesta Special.
Oh, here goes another pleasant Saturday morning down the drain.
G'day, Dex boy. G'day, Ash boy. And g'day, Junk boy.
Hi, Mr. Gallagher.
Now listen, Steve, who are you calling Junk Boy?
Why, this mobile kerosene tin, what else?
Gallagher, I've had your insults about Hector nearly every Saturday for months now, and I don't have to put up with it.
Sure you don't. Just put a match to the fuse and get rid of it.
A match to what fuse?
Don't ask me to tell you where it is, but every bomb has got a fuse.
Now look, Steve Gallagher, if you think you can pull up into my drive every Saturday and try to make me jealous with that modern painted hunk of tin, you've got another thing coming.
Dickie boy, if my Fiesta Special's a painted hunk of tin, then Hector's a scrappy bit of cardboard.
Get out of here, Gallagher. Get off my property before I put the dog on you.
I was only kidding, Dickie boy. Can't you take a joke?
I can take lots of jokes, Gallagher, but you're one I find extremely hard to take. If you'll pardon me now, I'd like to continue tuning my car's engine.
Well, go ahead. I'll just stand here and watch.
Dad reckons after a good tune-up, he'll have Hector doing 60 miles an hour on the open highway.
Dex, if you can get this heat to do 45 or better, uphill or on the straight, I'll get up on a soapbox in the park and retract every word I've ever said about your rattletrap.
Ashley, you heard that.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Gallagher just made a wild statement that he'll have to back out of.
I never make wild statements.
Oh, you don't, huh? Good. Well, I'll just prove that Hector can do much more than 45, and there'll be no tricks. No tricks like the time I drove to Yabby Creek and back.
Yeah, I'll say there'll be no tricks. I'll accept only positive proof.
Which you'll get, and very soon. And don't you be surprised if the speed I give you proof of is 60 or 65 miles an hour.
Dickie boy, there's only one thing you can do to make Hector go that fast.
What's that?
Shove him over a cliff and he might do 70 before he smacks the bottom.
What Steve has to say about Hector doesn't amount to much, and quite obviously Dexter isn't going to place much importance to it. On the other hand, great men do say important things, and on their sayings we should attach great importance. For instance, a great financier once said, if you want to find out whether you are destined to be a success or not, you can easily find out. Are you able to save? If not, the seed of success is not in you. From this you can see what a vitally important part a Commonwealth Savings Bank account can play in your success. Let me make this quite plain. If you have money saved in the Commonwealth Savings Bank, you are always ready to take...
And of course, we do not endorse the advertisers, but this is a test transmission from vk3sl on 160 metres and on UHF, also streaming online, which can be found on YouTube. Just look up my call sign.
Open a Commonwealth Savings Bank account this payday, and week by week, Bank Commonwealth.
And you see, son, if we can hit that straight stretch between Pottstown and Rainford, with the engine warm and purry by that time, and then if we start to accelerate slowly and smoothly,
Dexter?
we...
Are you helping Ashley with his homework?
No, Jessie, I'm not.
Oh, we're working on something else, Mum. Oh, Pop's given away helping me with homework since the time he put down the Wright brothers discovered New Zealand. Oh, we're working out how to get Hector to go more than 45 miles an hour.
Oh. With 2 propellers and 2 jets, the Wright brothers couldn't get Hector to do 45.
Jessie, it just may interest you to know that I've spent weeks tuning the engine.
And it's still playing the same tune. The beatnik bounce.
Oh, funny, dear. But look, you won't think it's funny tomorrow afternoon. Not after Ashley and I go for our run. We'll have done 60 miles an hour or better.
Oh, well, you might too if you go for a run. But I thought you were taking Hector.
Yeah. Oh, I'm married to a comic, and could anything be worse?
Well, Pop, we've left Pottstown and we'll hit the straight stretch any minute.
Yeah, any minute now. And listen to Hector's engine. Smooth as a little baby.
You mean a baby with a rattle?
Yeah, baby. I do not. I'm in no mood for humor today. You just concentrate on that engine for a moment. Listen, you'll admit it isn't missing.
No, I can hear it. It's there, all right.
Another crack like that and you won't be in the car to see us do 60 miles an hour.
I'm sorry, Pop. I only thought a bit of fast repartee might help us scoot along quicker.
Yeah, well, you just think about the matter we've got in hand. Once we get around this next corner, we'll be on the flat and ready to start gathering some real speed.
Say, Dad, why wouldn't you let Mr. Gallagher come with us today when he wanted to? He'll want more proof than us just saying we did more than 45 miles an hour.
Ashley, after we've given ourselves proof, it's time enough to prove anything to Gallagher. If Hector can do more than 45 once, she can do it twice, 3 times, 100 times. Simple mathematics.
Yeah, if Hector does more than 45, she could shake and jump herself to pieces. Simple acrobatics.
You'll do an acrobatic double somersault out of the car in a minute.
Oh, my apologies. Oh, hey, here's the flat stretch coming up. Time to start gathering speed smoothly, Dad.
Right. Now, we've both got a job to do here. I'll keep my eyes glued on the road ahead so that I keep a dead straight course. You keep your eyes on the speedo.
Right.
I want you to give me every speedo reading as the needle goes up and up and up.
Sure, Pop. Now, okay, you look straight ahead. Keep your foot on the gas, and here we go.
Right.
Here. The reading is now 22 miles per hour.
Not for long, it isn't. Sound barrier, get ready to be broken.
I just hope nothing else gets broken. There's a speedo reading now at 26 miles per hour.
26, check.
Fine sunny conditions with visibility unlimited.
Never mind about that. I don't want an Air Force report.
Well, if we go much faster, Pop, I might have to give you an altitude reading.
Oh, just give me speedo readings or get out of the car.
Oh, right-o. Speedo reading now increased to 34 miles per hour.
34.
36.
36.
38.
38.
40.
40. We're getting close.
42.
42.
44.
44.
43.
43. 43.
Yeah, 43. We're dropping back.
Oh.
41 now.
Oh, 41.
Under 40 now. 38. 37.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Well, I've come to one conclusion. There's just one thing wrong with Hector. Faulty speedometer.
Dexter, are you and Ashley going to sit out here in Hector all day doing nothing?
What do you mean, nothing? We're tinkering with the speedo. Jessie, no matter what happens, I am not letting Steve Gallagher get the better of me. Yesterday afternoon, when we took Hector for the run, I was positive he was doing more than 50 miles an hour.
And how were you positive?
Oh, Pop counted the number of telegraph poles that passed us for half a mile.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, then, how could you have been going fast when even a telegraph pole could pass you? Dexter, dear, I just made it funny.
Yeah, dear. You must have some important things to do inside the house. We are awfully busy out here.
Oh, well, it's a free country and I'm entitled to watch.
Watch?
Do you boys actually believe that you can make Hector go faster by fiddling with that silly gadget?
That silly gadget, dear, is the only thing in Hector which doesn't run like clockwork. If we fix it, we'll prove Hector can do maybe more than 60 miles an hour.
I know a way that you could get Hector to do more than 60. In fact, it's the only way.
How?
Fit him out with a new body, 4 new wheels, and a new engine.
Oh, why don't you crawl...
Excuse me, dear, excuse me. I believe I do have some things to do inside.
Yeah.
Gee, Dad, aren't females funny humans?
I certainly have a funny sense of humor. You know, Ashley, I found quite a bit of dirt in this speedometer instrument.
Would dirt make a difference?
Well, I mean, if dirt can make a clock run slow, it must also make a speedo run slow.
Hey, look, Pop. There's a policeman coming in our front gate.
Huh? Oh, yeah, well, probably selling tickets for the police ball.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Dexter Dutton?
Yeah. Good morning.
I'm afraid I've something for you.
Oh? Tickets, I imagine.
No, Mr. Dutton. It's a piece of paper of the color blue.
Heck, a bluey.
Well, what have I done?
Well, you'll be able to read the charge for yourself, but to put it briefly in layman's language, you've been booked for speeding.
Booked for speeding?
Yeah.
I don't recall any policeman booking me.
Now, Mr. Dutton, in this modern atomic age, you don't have to be stopped by a policeman. Huh? The force now has radar controls at many vital points, and it's merely a matter of a constable taking the number of your plates.
Boy, what'll they think of next?
Now, go ahead, Mr. Dutton. Read the charge. Make sure that it is the number of your motor vehicle.
Eh? Oh, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's the number, all right. It says I was doing 63 miles an hour through a built-up area between Langdon and Murray Pond at approximately 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, the 4th of September.
63 miles an hour? Gee, Dad, that must have been a day when we were coming back from Aunt Gladys's.
By the way, Mr. Dutton, where is your motor vehicle?
Well, it's at the moment, this is it I'm sitting in.
This is your one and only motor car?
Yeah. Its registered number is the one mentioned here on the paper.
Jumping, suffering catfish. I thought you were getting this contraption ready to go into one of those vintage car rallies.
I beg your pardon.
Fancy it being actually capable of doing 63 miles per hour. Wonders will never cease. Anyhow, you'll see there that you've got to appear at the traffic court at 10 a.m. on the 27th.
Say, Dad, this is wonderful. This is mighty. It couldn't have happened at a better time.
Oh, Ashley, what are you raving about?
Now you've got your proof. You've got proof to show Mr. Gallagher Hector can do at least 63 miles an hour.
Well, I don't want it. Oh, Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten. Yeah, I've got proof.
I don't know what you've got, but I've got to get moving. Now, just remember to appear at 10 a.m. on the 27th.
Oh, Constable, I'll be there in my glory. I'll be there before the court opens. Oh, dear. And even if the judge gives me hard labor, it'll be worth it. This little blue document is going to make me the happiest man in the world.
Happy, huh? Good morning.
Oh, Pop, we've got our proof. You were sure right about that Speedo.
Oh, it's very rarely I'm not right about anything.
I've just served a summons to a couple of nuts.
Pop, don't look now, but Mr. Gallagher's coming.
Oh, good. Pretend we're still tinkering with the car. I'm just going to kid him along a bit.
Good morning, fellas. Hey, Dex, did I just see the strong arm of the law leaving here? What have you been doing? Bashing up your missus?
Definitely not. He only presented me with a little traffic summons.
Ah, a parking summons. Oh, I got me laundry wallpapered with them.
It was not a parking summons.
Well, it sure wasn't a speeding summons. The cops can't book you for doing 11 miles an hour.
Just how do you know I wasn't booked for doing, say, over 60 miles an hour?
Oh, you're in a witty mood this morning, Dix. Anyhow, I'm not interested in your personal strife with the law. If you don't want to tell me what cooks, well, you don't have to. I come over to find out how you and Ash went yesterday. What was your top speed on the run?
Oh, the run yesterday? Well, the speedometer showed that we did not travel more than 44 miles an hour.
But Pop's pretty sure the Speedo isn't working right.
I can guarantee it isn't.
So can I. When it showed 44, you were probably only doing about 24. Well, Dickie boy, I reckon you ain't going to have the pleasure of seeing me spruiking on a soapbox in the park tomorrow.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I might still give you the proof you're after.
Ah, come off it. Why don't you admit you beat? That hunk of scrap metal can't go as fast as I go when Morty's chasing me with a saucepan.
You could be wrong, Mr. Gallagher.
Steve, seeing that you've agreed to talk for an hour on a soapbox in the park if Hector can do 45 miles an hour or better, what would you be willing to do if I can prove Hector is capable of 60 or better?
Name it, brother. Name it and I'll do it.
Oh, very well. If I give you definite proof today that Hector can do 60 or better, then tomorrow, what say you stand on a soapbox in front of my house and spruik about my car's good points for 2 hours from 10 in the morning till 12?
Well, I won't be doing it, so what's the difference? But why in front of your house and not in the park?
Because I would like all our close neighbours to hear your sweet lilting voice.
Thanks, Dex.
And I will be able to lean on my fence and have the time of my life.
Okay, suit yourself, but you could Buckley's hope of seeing it come off. I suppose you're going to try strapping a guided missile onto Hector's tail, eh?
Mr. Steve Gallagher, would you mind casting your peepers on that little paper? It's perfectly genuine, and it was handed to me by the constable you saw a few moments ago.
What's this? 63 miles per hour through a built-up area between Langton... This doesn't refer to Hector.
It certainly does. You'll note that the car registration number is clearly indicated.
And you've got my word of honour, there's no trick to it, Mr. Gallagher.
But I don't get it.
Ah, but you'll get it tomorrow. Tell me something, Steve. Regarding boxers, have you a preference for any special brand of soap?
Oh, very funny.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, you and the Commonwealth Bank will both be open for business.
Well, there's no doubt about one part of what Dexter just said. At 10 o'clock each morning, the Commonwealth Bank is open for business. And that isn't all. The Commonwealth Savings Bank is open for business in every...
Okay, this is a test transmission from vk3sl. We're testing on 160 and also on UHF and also streaming online, as we do. Just look us up on YouTube. VK3SL's name of the station, and there's also a blog spot as well with further information about the station. vk3sl.blogspot.com. Now back to Life with Dexter.
Or arrange a withdrawal. At every office you will find staff who have a genuine desire to help and advise you. These people are just like you and me. They have the same interests as we have. They find it no easier to save than we do. So why not take advantage of their friendly assistance? Open a Commonwealth Savings Bank account.
And no endorsement, because I know that the CBA is still going 60 years later after this was made. Never the mind.
And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the motor vehicle over there...
Louder, Steve. Speak up louder.
I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the motor vehicle in this driveway is the finest piece of precision machinery ever built. Here, here. In my opinion, there's not another car on the road like it today.
You're telling me?
Mr. Gallagher, mention the speed!
Don't laugh, my friends, but Hector is capable of a top speed of between 60 and 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, and say you've got definite proof.
And I've got definite proof.
Yeah.
Hey, Gallagher, is that in reverse gear or going forward?
Oh, Dexter, this is ridiculous. Steve's been making a fool of himself for over an hour.
I know, dear, isn't it fabulous? And he's got nearly another hour to go.
Gallagher!
What?
Is that heap for sale?
No! This car is not for sale.
Say not at any price.
Say not at any price. Why do you ask, Murphy?
Oh, nothing. I just thought if I could buy it for a few bob, me kids could have fun pulling it to bits.
Well, come on, Steve. Keep talking. Keep praising up the car.
Oh, yeah. Well, as you all know, I have been in the motor trading business all my life. And never have I come across a vehicle as fine and as reliable as that little gem. Its comfortable cruising speed is 63 miles an hour, and its proud owner calls it Hector.
Ah, sure, we know that. But everyone in Ashfield calls it something else. The four-wheel bumping bedstead.
Oh!
It's all right, I'll get it. Oh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dutton.
It's you again, Constable. Won't you come in?
No, thank you. I just going to apologize for giving you that summons yesterday and to take it back.
Take it back?
Yes, it was a mistake. You see, I got word from Central Police Station that a gang of car thieves have been apprehended.
Huh?
They've been making their own phony number plates, and by coincidence, one of the numbers they used was identical with yours.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it's true, all right. Yes, we've proved beyond doubt it wasn't your car doing 60-odd miles an hour as stated in the summons. And we offer our sincere apologies.
No.
Now, look, if you'll forget the incident, we'll be very grateful.
No, I won't forget it. My summons is genuine. I know my rights. I've got a summons and it's mine.
Mr. Dutton.
I'm a taxpayer and I know my rights.
Now, look, Mr. Dutton, I'm assuring you, you don't have to appear in court.
Oh, you can't stop me. I'm appearing in court. In fact, I'll take it to a higher court. I'll take it to the Supreme Court. I might even take it higher.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dutton. He is a nut.
Jesse, Jesse, where are you? Jesse, they can't do this to me. I'm going to appeal. I'm going to revolt. I can be as revolting as they can. I have a genuine summons in my possession.
Dexter, please. I heard every word the policeman said, and you're acting like a silly child. Hector was definitely not the car travelling at 60 miles an hour.
63. And it was. They've just made a mistake. Police are human. They can make mistakes. They can, Jesse.
Now, Dexter. Why don't you stop kidding yourself?
It's hard luck, Pop. But at least Mr. Gallagher doesn't know the difference.
No, but when he finds out that Hey, that's right. Why should Steve find out? He's already seen the proof and he's paid his forfeit, so that...
Sure! And now you don't have to go to court and pay a fine.
Now, hold everything, you two characters. I'm going to ensure that fair play triumphs in this little episode.
Oh.
Now, Dexter, You must tell Steve the truth.
Oh, but Jessie, what good would it do? I mean, he's already done his 2 hours spruiking this morning. I can't take it back no matter what I do now.
Well, nevertheless, you're going to explain the mistake to Steve. Well, it's possible he might find a way for you to take back his humiliation of this morning.
Oh, no, but there's no possible way. It's no use crying over spilt milk, Jessie. It's over and done with. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this motor car in my driveway should have been put out to pasture years ago.
Louder, Dix, much louder.
All right. Although I call it a car, it runs more like a
Shaft cutter.
It's noisier than a tractor. And its top speed is
Dawn Fraser can swim faster than it.
Oh, Dawn Fraser can swim faster than it.
In fact, it's an old bomb and should be sold for scrap metal. Go on!
It's an old bomb and should be sold for scrap metal. But I love my Hector just the same. I love her. I love my Hector.
Poor old Dexter. It really looks as though he's tied to that soapbox. And speaking of being tied to things, here's the question I want to ask you. When your next holidays arrive, will you be free to go away and have the time of your life? Or will you be tied to your home because you have no money for holidays? That's something you should give quite a lot of thought to now. Because if you open a special Commonwealth Savings Bank holiday account...
We'll do a Fade-O-Matic at that point. You've been listening to episode 145 of Life with Dexter, written by Willie Fennell back in the... I think they started in the late 50s, mid-50s even, and they were going right up until about 1970. This program was a long-standing OTR tradition, and we've got quite a few episodes here, but I don't know about the advertising. Usually advertising's not a problem, but the CBA are still going, and they get more than a Guernsey. Never the mind. Well, folks, we'll look forward to your company next week. Be back again on Saturday. Oh, no, Friday night. Should be around for a late Friday night missions and then back again on Saturday. So thanks for listening, and we look forward to your company then.
So listen to this advice and start right today to bank Commonwealth. Save Commonwealth Bank, Commonwealth now.
Life with Dexter is produced by Noel Judd and written by Willie Fennell. And this is John Dunn inviting you to enjoy Life with Dexter at the same time next week from this station. And remember, you'll always enjoy life with a Commonwealth Savings Bank account.